الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا من أرسل الله تعالى رحمة للعالمين. الصلاة والسلام عليك وعلى آلك وأصحابك أجمعين. الصلاة والسلام عليكم يا أنبياء الله.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah.
Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. السلام عليك السلام. سبحانك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد شيء قدير. سمعنا ما تعالى غفرانك عليكم الصلاة والصلوات. استغفر الله سبحانه والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments, and please share the stream. Every bit counts. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A Timeless Reality with Sheikh Nurjan Mirahmadi guides the reader in meditation, connecting the heart to a guide and to daily spiritual practices, to understand the effects of positive and negative energy, and to progress the reader in their spiritual awakening and the soul's connection to the world of light. The Divine's Ancient Timeless Reality. Order on Amazon.com. Levels of the Heart, Lataif al-Qalb by Sheikh Nurjan Mirahmadi. There are subtle energies and realities that are dressing the heart. This unique masterpiece invites readers from all faiths to step forward and begin the process of unveiling the true spiritual realities within their own hearts.
Eastern cultures use teas and herbs as an elixir of health and wellness. Rumi Rose Teas revives this ancient tradition with a collection of over 40 delicious hand-blended teas. Enjoy God-given health and wellness within every cup of Rumi Rose tea. Order online now.
As heavenly beings, we are on an eternal pursuit of angelic power. This book invites the seeker to attune to the guides of heavenly knowledge and discover the essential techniques we need to acquire to increase our positive energy within. In Pursuit of Angelic Power, available now on Amazon.com. Insan al-Kamil by author and spiritual guide Sheikh Nurjan Mirahmadi describes that in order to be known, the Divine created a sublime treasure for all of creation, the glorious light and soul of the Insan al-Kamil, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Vast universes, including every particle in existence, came into manifestation through this all-encompassing ocean of perfection. Order on Amazon.com. Are you ever searching for what zikr to recite for a particular need? We bring to you the Muhammadan Way app, an all-encompassing Islamic guide, where you can find special du'as and prayers, as well as comprehensive Islamic teachings. Download this powerful app now on iOS and Android. Rising Sun of the West is an essential spiritual guidebook filled with invaluable knowledge of the soul and the Divine's most powerful guiding light, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. The author guides the student through a comprehensive program of spiritual development and hidden realities of the soul. Available worldwide at Amazon.com.
الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد.
Inshallah, we start with page number 5. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad alayhi salam salatan tadumu wa tuhda ilayhi mamar al-layali wa tula dawam. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا
ليغفرك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا. لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. فإن تولوا فقل حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الفاتحة لنا ولكم يا حاضرون ووالدنا ووالدكم وأهلنا وأولادنا ولمشايخنا ولمن حضرنا ولمن غاب عنا ولأحيائنا ولأمواتنا وللمواظبين على هذا المجلس ولمن كان سببا في جمعنا بأن الله الكريم ينبر القلوب ويغفر الذنوب ويستر العيوب ويحفظنا بما حفظ به الذكر وينصرنا بما نصر به الرسول. وأن الله الكريم يجعل مجلسنا هذا محاطا بالخيرات والمسرات والأنوار والبركات ويقضي لنا جميع الحاجات بجاه خير البريات. وأن الله ينصر المسلمين وعلانية الله الكريم ينصر سلطان الأولياء مولانا الشيخ محمد ناظم عادل حقاني قدس الله سره بجاه خير الأنام. وعلى كل نية صالحة مع حسن الخاتمة عند الموت بعد العمر المديد في طاعة الله وإلى حضرة النبي
بسر سورة الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
أنت سلطاننا يا ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وتب علينا وزد حبيبك سيد الأولين والآخرين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم زده يا رب عزا وشرافا ونورا وسرورا وسلطانا ورضوانا رغم في الشيطان ومن تبعه.
عباد الله رجال الله أغيثونا بأهل الله
وكونوا عوننا في الله أسان هذا بفضل الله. ويا أقطاب يا أنجام ويا سادات ويا أحباب وأنتم يا أولي الألباب تعالوا وانصروا لله. عباد الله رجال الله أغيثونا بأهل الله وكونوا عوننا في الله صان هذا بفضل الله. سألناكم
مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا أبو بكر الصديق مدد يا عمر فاروق مدد يا عثمان غني مدد يا إمام علي مدد يا وجدواني مدد يا عارفون مدد يا فغنوي مدد 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 يا سيد مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا رميتاني مدد يا سماسي مدد يا أمير كولال مدد يا شاه نقشبند مدد يا الطارو مدد يا
شيخ عدنان مدد يا شيخ عادل مدد 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 يا سيدي مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا صاحب الوقت مدد يا فرداني مدد يا صديق مدد يا يماني مدد يا إمام العارفين مدد يا صحابي مدد يا مربي ملهان مدد يا غدلانا مدد 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 يا سيدي مدد 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 يا رسول الله مدد يا إمام مهدي مدد يا خليفة الله مدد يا إمام مهدي مدد يا خليفة الله مدد 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 يا سيدي مدد 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 يا رسول الله.
Inshallah, page 4, 6 and 12 on the Farsi Salawat book. سر کوی بلند فریاد کردم علی شیر خدا را یاد کردم علی شیر خدا دردم دوا کن مناجات مرا پیش خدا کن مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان
مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان
امیر المومنین یا شاه مردان یار
یا شاه مردان یار یا شاه مردان دل ناشاد من را شاد و گردان یار یا شاه مردان یار یا شاه مردان علی 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 مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان مولا
علی جانم
مولا علی جان شبی در محفلی ذکر علی بود شنیدم عارفی فرزان فرمود اگه دست علی دست خدا نیست چرا دست دیگر مشکل کشا نیست مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان امیر المومنین یا شاه مردان یار یا شاه مردان یار یا شاه مردان دل ناشاد من را شاد و گردان یار یا شاه مردان یار یا شاه مردان علی 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 مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان اگر دوزخ به زیر پوست داری نسوزگر علی را دوست داری اگه مهر علی در سینه نیست بسوزگر هزاران پوست داری مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان
امیر المؤمنین یا شاه مردان یار
یا شاه مردان یار
یا شاه مردان دل ناشاد مان را شاد و گردان یار یا شاه مردان یار یا شاه مردان علی 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 مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان مولا علی جانم مولا علی جان
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم بمددكم ونظركم سيدي يا رسول الكريم يا حبيب العظيم مدد يا سيدي يا سلطان الأولياء والشيخ عبد الفيز الداغستاني الشيخ محمد ناظم عادل الحقاني مولانا شيخ شام كباني الشيخ عدنان كباني الشيخ محمد عادل مولانا عبد الخالق الخوش دواني صاحب زمان سيد محمد المهدي عليه السلام روح الله سيدنا عيسى عليه السلام سيف الله سيدنا عليه السلام ثم سيدنا صديق سيدنا عمر سيدنا عثمان إمام الحسن عليه السلام إمام الحسين عليه السلام سيداتنا فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام وسائر ساداتنا والصديقين. على الفاتحة. شرف بركاته ورش مبارك سيدنا خاص محمد السرواندي and Sultan al-Awliya Sheikh Abdul Faiz al-Daghestani Naqib al-Ummah Wa'iz al-Ummah Sir al-Qalam Sir al-Kawthar Sir al-Kun Fayakun. InshaAllah Allah Azza wa Jal dress us and bless us from the immense blessings of the great souls of Naqshbandiyat al-Aliyah and that Shaykh Abdul Faiz al-Daghestani Sultan al-Awliya's nazar be upon us, our families and our communities inshaAllah. Let's continue with the Milad al-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam inshaAllah.
Inshallah, page 6 and 12 on the Farsi Salawat book.
Mawla Ali ya Haydar, 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 Mawla Ali ya Haydar. Awbiru ala velayat agha, daruna dariman fidayat agha, yeki jane jahani fakhre muttaqiyani, amir mu'minani, hasti saqi kawthar, Mawla Ali ya Haydar, Mawla Ali ya Haydar, Mawla Ali ya Haydar, Mawla Ali ya Haydar, Mawla Ali ya Haydar. نومت صفاء رمضان الكريم مسير حبيت صراط المستقيم راحت راه هدايت بدر تو بنهايت فرمان ما عنايت حق مالك وغنبر مولا علي يا حيدر مولا علي يا حيدر مولا علي يا حيدر مولا علي يا حيدر مولا علي يا حيدر. دعا کن اربعین با شور عاشورا از نجف برویم به سوی کربلا خورشید عالمینی نبی را نور عینی گریه کن حسینی لا صبح روز محشر مولا علی یا حیدر مولا علی یا حیدر مولا علی یا حیدر مولا علی یا حیدر مولا علی یا حیدر. کجا بودی آقا به روز عاشورا حسینت لب تشنه گردیده سر جدا ذکرش شاگرد نیارم جانش آمده بر لب امان از دل زینب در ما فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار اذكروا على محمد كل ليل ونهار بارا گفت محمد که علی جان من است بارا گفت محمد که علی جان من است هم به جان علی هم به محمد صلوات فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار اذكروا على محمد كل ليل ونهار يا غير العدو يا ولي الولي يا مظهر العجائب يا مرتضى علي 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 لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار اذكروا على محمد كل ليل ونهار قال رسول الله يا لمدينة العلم علي بابها قال رسول الله يا لمدينة العلم علي بابها علي بابه علي بابه علي بابه علي بابه علي بابه علي بابه لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار اذكروا على محمد كل ليل ونهار يا نكتب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا نكتب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أسد الله غالب يا مرتضى يا علي يا أسد الله غالب يا مرتضى يا علي لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار اذكروا على محمد كل ليل ونهار أول وخير علي ظاهر باطن علي يا أبا الحسن علي يا أبا الحسين علي جان پیغمبر علي مشوق زهرا علي يا شاه مردان علي يا شیر یزدان علي يا حکم فرمان علي يا نور جانان علي ای جان جانان علي ای جان جانان علي ای تو درمان علي ای تو درمان علي لا فتى إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار إلا علي لا سيف إلا ذو الفقار اذكروا على محمد كل ليل ونهار.
Page number 55 صلوات بو. صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعين يا غرامي صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعين يا غرامي كان أصل التكوين من عهد كن فيكن يا غرامي نبي كان أصل التكوين من عهد كن فيكن يا غرامي صلاة بسلام المبين لنقطة التعين يا غرامي صلاة بسلام المبين لنقطة التعين يا غرامي أيام جانا حقا نذيري مغيثا مسبلا سبل الرشاد أيام جانا حقا نذيري مغيثا مسبلا سبل الرشاد صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعين يا غرامي صلاة
بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين يا غرامي الله يا الله يا الله يا الله 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 يا الله يا الله يا الله رسول الله يا ذوي الجبين ويا من جاء بالحق المبين رسول الله يا ذوي الجبين ويا من جاء بالحق المبين صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين يا غرامي صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين يا غرامي صلاة لم تزل تطلع عليك كمعطار النسيم تهدى إليك صلاة لم تزل تطلع عليك كمعطار النسيم تهدى إليك صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين يا غرامي صلاة بالسلام المبين لنقطة التعيين يا غرامي. Page number 69. ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي محمد يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي محمد يا الله ربي بلغنا بجاهي يا الله بجواري خير مقعد يا الله ربي بلغنا بجاهي يا الله بجواري خير مقعد يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي محمد يا الله والصلاة الله تغشى يا الله أشرف الرسل محمد يا الله والصلاة الله تغشى يا الله أشرف الرسل محمد يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي محمد يا الله والسلام المستمر يا الله كل حين يتجدد يا الله والسلام المستمر يا الله كل حين يتجدد يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي محمد يا الله يا رسول الله أهلا يا الله بك إلا بك نسعد يا الله يا رسول الله أهلا يا الله بك إلا بك نسعد يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي محمد يا الله وبجاهي يا إلهي يا الله جد وبلغ كل مقصد يا الله وبجاهي يا إلهي يا الله جد وبلغ كل مقصد يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي محمد يا الله واهدنا نهج سبيلي يا الله كي به نسعد ونرشد يا الله واهدنا نهج سبيلي يا الله كي به نسعد ونرشد يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي
Inshallah, page 76 of the Salawat book. Inshallah, we'll try it in a new style.
Ya Imam ar-Rusul ya sanadi anta babullahi mu'tamadi fa bidunya ya wa akhirati ya Rasulallah hi khud biyadi ya Imam ar-Rusul ya sanadi anta babullahi mu'tamadi fa بدنياي وآخرتي يا رسول الله خذ بيدك سمن من نجمه نوام المعافى وزكي مصوى فاطلع الكونين عنك سوى حب مولى والعجم يا إمام الرسل يا سندي أنت باب الله معتمدي فبدنياي وآخرتي يا رسول الله خذ بيدي سيد السادات من مدر قوت أهل الباب والعذر صاحب الآيات والسور منبع الأحكام والحكم يا إمام الرسل يا سندي أنت باب الله معتمدي فبدنياي وآخرتي يا رسول الله خذ بيدي قمر طابت سريرته وسجاياه وسيرته صفوة البحر وخيرته عدل أهل الهيل والهرم يا إمام الرسل يا سندي أنت باب الله معتمدي فبدنياي وآخرتي يا رسول الله خذ بيدي ما رأت عين وليس ترى مثل طه في الورى بشرا خير من فوق عثرى سرى طاهر الأخلاق والشيم يا إمام الرسل يا سندي أنت باب الله معتمدي فبدنياي وآخرتي يا رسول الله خذ بيدي.
Inshallah, page 121, Salawat book. या मुस्तफ़ा नूरुल हुदा फ़ानी तेरा कोई नहीं शम्सुद्दुहा कोई नहीं बदरुद्दुजा कोई नहीं या मुस्तफ़ा नूरुल हुदा फ़ानी तेरा कोई नहीं शम्सुद्दुहा कोई नहीं बदरुद्दुजा कोई नहीं या मुस्तफ़ा नूरुल हुदा ख़त्मे रुसूल खैरुल वरा कोई नहीं तेरा बदल ख़त्मे रुसूल खैरुल वरा कोई नहीं तेरा बदल आईना है हुस्ने अज़ल तेरे सिवा कोई नहीं या मुस्तफ़ा नूरुल हुदा सानी तेरा कोई लेकिन दो आलम में कहीं शाहे उमम कोई नहीं, खैरुल वरा कोई नहीं, या मुस्तफा नूरुल हुदा सानी तेरा कोई नहीं, शम्सु दुहा कोई नहीं, बद्र दुजा कोई नहीं, या मुस्तफा नूरुल हुदा। जाए कहाँ हम बेनवा आका तेरे दर के सिवा, जाए कहाँ हम बेनवा आका तेरे दर के सिवा, हम बेकसों का आसरा, या मुस्तफा कोई नहीं, या मुस्तफा नूरुल हुदा तानी तेरा कोई नहीं, शम्सु दुहा कोई नहीं, बद्र दुजा कोई नहीं, या मुस्तफा नूरुल हुदा। ऐ मज़हरे नूरे खुदा तुम सा कहाँ है दूसरा, ऐ मज़हरे नूरे खुदा तुम सा कहाँ है दूसरा, तुम हो इमाम अंबिया तुम सा हुआ कोई नहीं, या मुस्तफा नूरुल हुदा तानी तेरा कोई नहीं, शम्सु दुहा कोई नहीं, बद्र दुजा कोई नहीं, या मुस्तफा नूरुल हुदा।
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله إلى شرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عليه وصحبه الكرام ولمشايخنا في طريقة النقشبندية العالية وسائر ساداتنا وصدقنا على الفاتحة. يعني شهد يا رسول الكريم الحمد لله. إن شاء الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم بمددكم ونزلكم سيدي يا رسول الكريم يا حبيب العظيم. مدد يا سيدي يا سلطان الأولياء الشيخ عبد الفايز الداغستاني، الشيخ محمد ناظم عادل الحقاني، مولانا الشيخ هشام كباني، الشيخ عدنان كباني، الشيخ محمد عادل، عبد الخالق الخجستاني، صاحب زمان سيد محمد المهدي عليه السلام، وروح الله سيدنا عيسى عليه السلام، سيف الله سيدنا عليه السلام، ثم سيدنا أبو بكر الصديق، سيدنا عمر، سيدنا عثمان، إمام الحسن عليه السلام، إمام الحسين عليه السلام، سيداتنا فاطمة عليه السلام وسائر وساداتنا والصديقين. الفاتحة. شهد يا رسول الكريم هاتي الله هاتي رسول أولي الأمر منكم. And always a reminder for myself and Abdul Ajis al-Da'if Miskin al-Zalim al-Jahal, but for the grace of Allah that we're still in existence. Alhamdulillah, Allah opened for the holy month of Ramadan and granted us a mercy in which to enter into that holy month, to be dressed by the immensities of lights and realities of Qur'an. And alhamdulillah, we took so many subjects and topics. Inshallah we'll ask and see if what our people have of questions from what we've covered inshallah. These are the first 10 days of rahmah and mercy, and that Allah dress us and bless us from the immensities of these lights, and that shaitan makes everything in Allah's way to be difficult or appear to be difficult. with the illusion and delusions of a fire and difficulty, and that the believer must step into the direction of Allah and with their faith and with Allah's support the illusion and delusions to vanish and disappear. And that Allah's madad and support, Allah's immense grace and rahmah and mercy to dress upon the servants inshaAllah. Makes what appears to be difficult to become based on ease and with divine grace inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, if negative thoughts are from shaitan being too close, but we are in the month of Ramadan where he is locked away, what does it mean if we are still extremely negative?
Means that the shaitanic influence on the nafs is still very strong, because his sharik means one partner got locked up, the other one's still free. Right? So shaitan got locked up but the nafs is still in between, thumma amanu thumma kafaru, and is casting all sorts of negativity, negative thoughts and energies, and in a state of or trying to reach a state of submission for Allah and the nafs and energies of other people surroundings also begin to cast upon the believer. They're influenced by the energies of all their surroundings. So lots of negativities are trying to come towards the mind of the believer, not so much the heart but the mind of the believer, to cast into their thought and into their brain. So the protection is through the zikrs, the washing, keeping wudu, keeping the practices and the salawat on Sayyidina Muhammad and understanding that the waswas and a'udhu billah, and trying to push it from the heart, push it from the mind, and to keep the focus of the tafakkur. That's why the practice of the tafakkur is so difficult, is to discipline yourself to keep that consciousness, to keep the conscious state that I'm with today, and it's not easy. And the shaitan keeps making us to lose the thought and drift into different thoughts, but once you practice that and become disciplined in that, then at all times you try to regain that. When too much whispering comes, then you begin to make your istighfar, make your salawats, that the energies around are trying to put into us a negative understanding, the foods of other people, everything has an energy. So how that energy is affecting us inshaAllah is then the understanding, and we become more and more sensitive to our own understanding and our own surroundings. So try to keep as pure an environment as possible so that not to have those difficulties. Put your ta'weezes, keep yourself in wudu, keep yourself with the meditation and tafakkur. And there's no guarantees, it doesn't stop. So it's always a matter of shaitan is always trying to attack, and the believer's always fighting and struggling back. So if somebody asks, well when does this fight stop? It's when you take your last breath and you enter the grave, and it doesn't even stop there because now there's a battle inside the grave. So this is not something that you look to get rid of it, but it's a continuous fight on how do I fight it. So that's the concern. How do you reinforce yourself with your practices, with your spirituality, with your understandings and your knowledges. And imagine those whom are studying the way and understanding how difficult it is. Imagine those whom don't study and what type of negativities must be surrounding. At least the people and the students of knowledge, they're understanding and they keep all of the fortifications and all of the understandings and recitations. And those who don't know, then you truly understand how much they're cast into darkness and difficulty, and they don't even know it. So that's the guidance from it and the understanding of it, that what Allah has given is so immense. inshaAllah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Sayyidi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Please forgive my lack of adab and understanding. Could you please elaborate more on the 3 locks of Satan on us and the reality of opening the seen to open the sheen? Is there a connection of these huruf with those in the kursi and the arsh? Thank you for everything.
Ooh, too detailed. That's in its own weekend celebration. That's too much of a detailed question, and that requires a whole time period just given to that. And what most of the audience will be lost when we enter into the hurufs, and those who know Arabic or familiar with huruf through their background and their studying of Arabic, then it's more easier for them. People coming new will be lost. But the main understanding that Allah has put upon the believers, a lock upon their ears, their eyes, and a veil over their heart, so that their eyes and their ears are locked and the heart is locked. And it's like a khiswa, like a sheet that's upon the Kaaba, there's a sheet upon the heart of the believers. And shaitan's goal is to keep those locks there, that from birth they're open, that we're born pure, that we hear, we see, and that the heart is not veiled from the heavens. And it's the mothers and the parents that change the direction of the child, the circumstances of dunya, and whatever environment dunya is putting upon people, these locks begin to build upon our reality. So our hearing becomes locked and we no longer hear the inspirations of the heaven, and we hear ourselves with our nafs and shaitan whispering continuously that which is not good for us, that which has no benefit for us, and make us always to think short term and not long term. Puts a veil and a block upon our eyes. Because of the sins and bad character, the eyes that once could see the heavens become veiled from. And shaitan makes sure these locks are continuously upon the servant, and as a result there's a khiswa and a blanket over the heart of the believer. So their eyes are locked, their ears are locked, and the heart becomes qulf. As a result, this veil over them that they can't see the heavens, they can't hear the heavens, they can't get the correct inspiration for their reality. And one of the greatest sicknesses the shaitan puts upon people to keep these locks in place, he doesn't want them unlocked. He doesn't want the servant to hear their consciousness, he doesn't want the servant to see the reality and the reflection within their heart, and definitely doesn't want the veil to be lifted so they can see, oh my God, this shaitan is in my house, what is this? So the shaitan plays with people, and that they have only short term memory, short term, now my enjoyment, no long term thought. So when you deal and talk with people and you try to give them guidance, it's always a reminder that you have to think in the long run, that every step you do you have to play your hand 10 steps ahead. And that's what shaitan plays with people, they don't think like that. He wants them to play short path, that only think one step ahead. Take this move because it's fun, do this because it's enjoyable, do this because you feel like it. And what Allah wants for us, like a chess game, before you make the move keep your hand on that event and think that if I make this move 10 different directions, what's going to happen? And that's what separates one whom believes and is moving towards perfection, and the one whom their belief is very weak or none at all. And they do things, say, I'm sorry, but that sorry doesn't mean anything. What do you do when you already made the move? means that shaitan already got you on that and you're in difficulty. So before what you wear, what you buy, what you do, what you eat, any move you're about to take you have to think in your heart that what will be the effect. So when you give guidance to people, say, why you look like this? Oh, because it's fashionable. I said, but do you ever think somebody take a photo and show that it's inappropriate what you're wearing? And then later on people who will be important in your life will say, why you look like this? We live in a world closer to Judgment Day. So imagine like 50 years ago and now move 50 years forward. 50 years ago you had to tell people, be conscious of what you do for a day may come where God will judge you. And they had to use their faith and say, yeah, you may be God, yeah, may judge me, I don't know, do you think really He would know what I'm doing? And basically the people of faith would win and say, no, He knows, and the people with no faith would say, no, He doesn't know. Fast forward now to the life we live now, actually everybody has a camera. And whatever you do, somebody took a picture of it. Whatever you say, somebody has recorded it. Everything is being documented by someone, somewhere, known and unknown to you. But that's like the kingdom of Allah. So Allah saying, why are you so frightened? You knew I was watching everything, recording everything through your own eyes. So now you don't even need that much faith to believe that. You know that everybody's taking a picture and someday it's going to own up on your page and on your social media, and how you're going to explain that to your family, to your children, to your future, to your job. So now they begin to even have proofs of this way of faith and the way of accountability. If they don't believe in Allah, at least your whole future will be based on what you have done, what you have said, what's been documented from what you've done in your actions. So we've come closer to Judgment Day for us to understand it's not about even faith anymore. You can say there's technical proof, somebody's got a photo of you doing that, somebody has recorded you saying that. So you have to be 10 steps ahead. Don't let somebody engage you in something and you write it and all of a sudden they have now what you've written. Don't type and text anything that you wouldn't want somebody to snapshot and put out to be public. But nobody thinks like that, nobody thinks 10 steps ahead, and that's because shaitan plays with them, think only one step. They do it, then, oh my God, I don't know what I just did, I don't know how I'm going to protect myself, what I'm going to do. Or they're so heedless that they don't even think about it, and that's the danger. Means the people of tafakkur and contemplation is they have a high level of consciousness, and as a result of their high level of consciousness there's continuous inspiration within them. Be cautious. Before you write that, be cautious. Before you say that, be cautious. Before you photograph that, be cautious. So that you're always understanding shaitan is attacking and you're going to counter move and move, so that strategically every move is a protected move to the best of our abilities, inshaAllah. Without that then you see how people are completely putting themselves into difficulties and satanic traps and hardships and every type of difficulty. We pray that Allah grant us more and more of a correct character in which to contemplate every move and contemplate what will be the effect of saying this and doing this and acting like this, inshaAllah, so that to have good character, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, you have mentioned that we can read Surah Ikhlas at Taraweeh if we haven't memorized the Qur'an. Can we just read that or other surahs that we know as well?
You can do anything you want, recite anything you want. There's a time to recite Qur'an. What we described was only the secret of Surah Al-Ikhlas, that 3 Surah Al-Ikhlas you get the barakah of reciting all of Qur'an. So there's a hikmah and a wisdom for those whom recite Surah Al-Ikhlas. And the companions had complained of another companion that he only reads Surah Al-Ikhlas, doesn't read any other surahs. and Prophet described to them, Zillah, he likes Surat al-Ikhlas, it's okay that he reads Surat al-Ikhlas. But maybe that companion had the secret of that reality and the immensity of its weight, and it's the only surah that doesn't talk about anything other than tawheed and an in-depth reality of the oneness of Allah and the greatness of Sayyidina Muhammad, Qul huwa. That Allah addressing the who and the reality of who, so has an immense reality. So it's good for those who wish to meditate and contemplate. And the reading of Qur'an is one issue, so they read Qur'an separately so that they learn the Qur'an to the best of their ability, they read in English. Then the Qiyam al-Layl is meditation. So whatever induces the greatest feeling of meditation, recite that which is easy, that which is important to you and that which has an immense barakah, and you're reciting and meditating through those 20 rakahs. Whether you're on a chair and your body is not well and you have to pray, these are sunnah prayers, so they can be done on a chair. So again it's a meditation, don't link the two as reciting Qur'an. So the recitation of Qur'an for Ramadan is a separate action. If you're Arab and you have it to be memorized and you understand your memorization, then it's a meditation for you, the same point. But if you're Ibn Hafiz and you don't know what you're reciting, then there are separate actions. Recite whatever you want because you're hifz and you have it memorized, but you should be reading Qur'an and understanding in your language so that the Qur'an can teach you and talk to you, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, should we avoid choosing professions which nature is listening to complaints and negativity?
If you have a choice then that's up to you. If you like to listen to complaints and negativity then go ahead. If you have no choice and that's the career that you've sort of trained for, then keep your wudu, your taweez and keep all of your training, and Allah inshaAllah defend you and protect you against that negativity. But if we describe something that this path or this street here is fire and say, excuse me Shaykh, do you mind if I walk on there? You go right ahead. If your feet don't burn, go for it. But if it is hot to you and you find it to be difficult and heavy, don't do it. So you have to have a certain training and a certain understanding. And that's why then the training is the meditation, the practice is keeping wudu, keeping your taweez, and you pretty much have to copy the way of the shaykh because he is only listening to negative comments. So everybody's emailing and commenting of their difficulties and their problems, but that requires then they be dressed with their tajallis and practices and how to fortify themselves from negativities. And some people are very empathetic, means or very soft in their feeling. If they hear people's problems it overwhelms them because their soul takes it too much heart. So those people should not be anywhere near that, and they have to defend themselves and protect themselves because their soul overly gets involved in every issue. So everyone to their understanding and to their level, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, is Laylatul Qadr a physical event that the believer experiences?
Versus a psychological event? Yeah, everything is a real event. The whole tariq This is the way of haqq and truth. So everything is an actual event. It's not a philosophy that the philosophy of power will be coming, maybe some energies are coming on this day or this night. It's an actual event that are coming, and everything is a haqqaiq. Now when we reach to the haqqaiq, it becomes more and more true. One year you may feel just the power in the whole month, another year you may find that there are 4 pockets of qadr in this month that come at 8. So these are all the nights of the 8th. So the powers of 9, they're all qadr. So on the 8th, what's the next power of 9? On the 17th, what's the next one? 21, no, 27, no, 17, what's the next one? 8 more become 26 night for the 27, and then the last night, the 29, which is Hiya. So these are 4 pockets of power that dress every month, and especially the month of Ramadan, because these are the 9, the reality of 9 within that month. So the 8th night of Ramadan, Maghrib becomes the power of 9. So then that has a tajalli and an energy that's coming. Depending upon how subtle we train ourselves, that event becomes more real, right? So we have ilmu yaqeen, the knowledge of reality, so we study the knowledge of this month. Ayn yaqeen is that we meditated and we become more sensitive to this reality. So maybe the first time I do it I feel energies and I can't sleep at night, the energy is so strong. And maybe the next year when I do it I start to feel it. On the 8th night there was an event, and maybe on the next one is 18, so that would be the 17th night I feel an energy coming. So all of these then each time as the student is evolving or ascending, they become more subtle until they begin to feel. And the tajalli for the month, subhana man taqara bil qudrati wal baqa. So it's all about energy and qudra and entering into these oceans of eternal energy. So this is a very powerful month, and this has to do with the sultanate of the heavens, and that Allah is dressing with immense powers, immense lights. But everything being taught is based on real. Now the real is based on how much we entered into the truth and the haqqaiq. So there's an initial real to believe, then there's a real in which you feel it, there's a real in which your entire being is lost within it, and there's a real in which you're in the dress of your shaykh and inside that reality, because you've lost yourself and went into the fana. And in that ocean of fana then it becomes very real events and very real powers that are coming in this month. Is a month in which to destroy everything and knock and destroy all bad characteristics. So Allah is sending an immense power, a power that burns shaitans and burns everything bad, but puts the believer in a state of bliss, like the fire of Jahannam. So this fire comes down, and the fire of Jahannam, it burns all that which is bad. So when there's a fire and this energy that comes, it burns the bad ego, it burns the shayateen, and it burns away the impurities of the person and their character. So that what's left is gold. The gold is in a fire. So they see people on these shows of gold, they take all this big pound of people's jewelleries and mixed with all sorts of different qualities of gold, and they just put it into a melting. When you look at all that work was done and they put it into this melting thing, that melting thing is extremely hot. So must be like all these gold pieces are screaming, "Ah, save me!" Right? Then become liquefied. And as it's liquefied, they're adding some other things and other elements to burn away impurities. Then when they take that hot liquid out, they pour it and becomes like this beautifully pure gold bar made from bunch of scraps of gold. Well, Ramadan is like that for the believers, that we come with all of our scraps, good and bad actions, and Allah then begins putting us in a baking pot. Ramadan means sun baked. So it means that you're being baked by the ovens of the heavens, in which like a smelting pot begin to hit an enormous amount of spiritual heat. If you can tap into that heat, then Ramadan becomes very powerful for you. You can't sleep, you got a lot of energy sort of flowing through you, and you understand how the sustenance and sustaining oneself with energy becomes more and more powerful as we're getting into the power nights. So this is the goal of it, as we become more and more subtle and more spiritual, more and more in tafakkur and training, then we begin to understand. And we said before that there's a Ramadan in which you understand all of your senses are in fasting. So when you begin to fast 1 year, good with your ears and try your best not to hear bad talk and bad gossips, bad sounds, then the spiritual hearing begins to open. There's a power that comes and begins to dress the spiritual hearing, and you can hear the thoughts of other people, you can hear the realities of the heavens, and then your spiritual seeing. Ramadan comes and begins to burn away all the things you see with your eyes and the not so good things that you see with the eyes, that put a veil upon their eyes. That's what shaitan was trying to do, right? He wanted to veil your ears, so he keeps making all bad comments, whisperings, make you hear bad things, and you can't have anything hearing from your ear. So the believers fight to purify their ears. And then they want to open their hearts, but shaitan makes TikTok so that their eyes are just completely bombarded with negativity and inappropriate. Why? So that he can fill the heart with badness and bad character and bad energies. So then the believer's great struggle and fight is then to clean their heart, keep their heart to be appropriate, pass quickly through anything that's not appropriate. And as a result then you're cleaning your eyes and fighting in the struggle to purify the eyes, to unlock the power of your eyes. If your ears are opening, you're beginning to hear. If your spiritual eyes are opening, you begin to see through your spirituality and the reflection through the heart. And as a result Allah begin to slowly lift the veil, the khiswa that's blocking us. Like these creatures, they put a bag on the head of the creature so that it doesn't know where it is and start kicking everyone. Allah want then to begin to lift the veil of reality so that the servant understands the depth in which their spiritual reality is achieving, the heights in which the spiritual reality is achieving. So these are important in the progression of our spiritual practices and spiritual reality, inshaAllah. And Ramadan is a great opportunity for those to be burned, the badness to be burned, so that Allah can open the realities for the servant, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Walaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Is the covenant made between us and Allah all the same, or there are specific things for each soul is tasked with?
No, so it would have to be very unique, it can't be the same. Allah didn't ask everybody to give $5. So it means everyone to their gift and what they've given. that what you would do and how you would serve, and that when you came across your reality and your shaykhs that you would follow, you would accept, and all that you would serve to the amount that Allah gave as your destiny, what your skill, what your ability, what your rizq, what everything that was given to you, Allah called that to be of service. My Allah can't call me to come and recite if I'm not a reciter. If I don't have that voice, how would that be my calling? So it means with what you have, you promised Allah that you would give and that you would put it on the table to be of service to the nation of Sayyidina Muhammad. And that's what the shaykh's guidance is to burn your nafs, burn your shaitan so that your soul sits on the chair. At that time you'll know who you are, you'll know what abilities you have, and that how you promised Allah those would be of service to Sayyidina Muhammad. And that's why that when you go with the shaykh you're loyal to the shaykh so that you can fulfill your covenant. If you don't reach to your ahad and to your reality and reach to how you're supposed to be with the shaykh to do these things that you're supposed to be doing that you promised Allah. The nafs doesn't like that, so the nafs then begin to switch around the person, go here, then you go there, and then before you know it the person who bounced around so much they achieve nothing, no one knows them, and they were of no service other than the service to their nafs and to their ego. And then to be of service means this is what we promised Allah that we would come, we would accept, and we would then begin to serve with our abilities that Allah has given to us. And that's the responsibility of the shaykhs then to put the servant towards the ahad and their covenant. Many people then call and start emailing the shaykh, what's my service, what's my service? It doesn't work like that. That's like saying, what's my code? Your service is that you're supposed to be meditating, and then they don't even have the book and they want to know how they're going to reach their ahad and their covenant. Well, how are you going to reach anything if you're not going to meditate and contemplate? First make the connection to find out who you are. And that with that connection, that's why we described over all these years that without the connection shaitan and nafs is sitting on the chair, this discussion then becomes completely irrelevant. When shaitan and nafs are sitting on your chair, do you think you have any way of achieving your covenant with Allah? Now people who come and then begin to fight the shaykh and begin to backbite the shaykh and begin to do every type of craziness, do you think that you're achieving your covenant with Allah? That this is what He wanted from you, this is what Prophet wanted from you? No. So as long as that's relevant and the ego and the nafs are sitting on the chair, then that discussion is irrelevant. That's why the first step is then they meditate, contemplate. You don't want to get the book, go to the website, study how to do the meditation, how to connect your heart, feel the connection. Once they start to progress upon that connection, then what happens? The three states of matter will burn, they'll come as very solid, and so much connection is coming that they feel burning and everything around them is agitating and they want to run. And they run to where? Do you think there's a garden that you can run to when you ran out of the garden of the shaykh, or did you just run into Jahannam? This is a garden in the garden of Prophet. So imagine Prophet's garden is huge and one little corner of it is here, the shaykh is there and brings people into the garden. When you run, what happens to you? You decided to leave the Muhammadan way and that reality, but where are you leaving into? There's not other gardens that you can go to, doesn't work that way because what Prophet gave to you like an army. You are in this regiment and your duty is there. You don't leave the regiment thinking you'll go find another one, because they don't trust anyone else coming to them. Why are you coming to us from somewhere else? What you left is the Muhammadan realities and you've been convinced by shaitan, come to us, and you went towards shaitan. So there's no leaving, there's only achieving. So people think they're leaving, going to, and they'll do it themselves. And what Allah told Sayyidina Nuh when he built the ship, and his son said, I'm not coming, I'll find a mountain somewhere else. Means I'll find some other wali to be with, not with you and your ship. There is no mountain for you to find, because once you leave the boat then your character is known by all the captains. Because any captain and any boat, why would they want somebody who's left the boat? That person now is under the influence of their shaitan. No one wants to take that in, it's a danger. So our life is then to stay. When the testing is tough, you stay and achieve and achieve and achieve, and it's not an easy process. And as a result of achieving, they stay, they combat all their bad characters, all their devils and all their demons. And if they didn't think they had demons, that's when they become surprised that, oh I'm so angry all the time, I'm upset about this, I'm upset about that, oh whispering is coming, oh so many whisperings are coming. Yeah, the demons had you for a long time, did you think that you wouldn't recognize that they're whispering to you? As soon as you become a little bit of spiritual ability, you realize how much demons are around you. So this is a part of the awakening, to not be conscious and to think, oh everything was so great before. Then watch the matrix, because they live in illusion, they think life is so beautiful. But when Allah wants you to wake up, what happens? All of a sudden this life becomes a very dirty matrix, and Allah wants to show you how dirty it is. That these things are very demonic, these energies are very demonic and they're all around, just you were heedless to them. Once you become conscious of them, you see that the energies are very bad everywhere. Now where are you going to run at that time? Does it make any logic to you for you're going to run? Where are you going to run to? After they're opening and teaching you everything's demonic, you're running to the hands of demons? And you find what? Allah described what? That they find no safety except in Allah. So you can't run from Allah to find safety in Allah. Why are you running? You have to sit and fight your demons with your practices, with all that is being taught to the person, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
How can we turn back if we keep turning and running?
How do you turn back? You regain where you left off, you go back, renew your bayat, recite it for yourself, make your istighfar and live a life of service and khidmat, be of service, give donations, spread the links, spread the knowledges and regain yourself and your practices. And tell yourself there is nowhere to go but back to the hands of shaitan. You cannot leave Allah to go to Allah, and you cannot leave a garden of Sayyidina Muhammad to go to another garden of Sayyidina Muhammad. It doesn't work that way, because the one who would accept you would think you're a traitor. Then why you left? After they put their effort upon you, they gave to you from their fruits and their realities, you ate from them, drank from them, took from them. Like now you stole from them, ran, and now you're coming to us to do what? I'd like to sit and steal yours too. Okay. So it doesn't work that way. Watch any movie you want and learn from just movies, at least Hollywood can teach people manners. It doesn't work. If you run from one kingdom, there's not another kingdom that lets you in, because this path is based on loyalty. Sit, practice, do your practices, do your effort, sit and fight through your demons and whatever shaitans are coming. And there's no running from the Muhammadan reality, especially now. Because we describe people are going to run They're going to think that their safety is running into the fire, into the flames of shayateen and Dajjal's way, and say, no, they're doing this, they're this, like this. But no, it's not the way. They have to have istiqam fi tariqat, that hold firm and be firm onto your tariqah, so that Allah can shower you from His waters and His fountains of life and eternity. And that's the way of Sayyidina Muhammad. There were people who would up and make masjids and say, why you don't come and pray in our masjid? And Allah said, don't ever step into their masjid. Means you can't leave the way of Prophet and now go into something else and say, well I'll just do this, because everything was based on loyalty. Everything was based on you struggling and fighting your bad character, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Having grown up in a very harsh environment, we now feel that we are allergic to love and create problems anytime love is around. What can we do to accept love?
Yeah, listen to the teachings and do exactly as the shaykh is teaching you to do. Do acts of love, that be kind to people, make lots of salawats to show your love for Prophet, be generous, spread the links and do life of khidmat and service. Those are all acts of love. If you can't do that and you only love yourself, then there is no help and mercy for someone who has no love within their heart. So you have to push yourself much as possible to do these things and do these practices. All of these are practices of love. If you can't help other people, then this is a problem. If you can't support other people, then this is a problem. If you can't live a life of khidmat, that's a huge problem. If you can't make salawats to show your love for Sayyidina Muhammad, then we already become defeated by shaitan. And I don't think anyone listening right now is at that state, because if shaitan fully grabbed you he wouldn't let you even to listen to this talk, inshaAllah. InshaAllah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Lil sharaf al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa alihi wa sahbihi kiram wa li mashayikhina fi tariqat Naqshbandiyyah al-aliyah khasatan rahimahum tariqa Ghawth Khaliqa Chant Naqshbandi Muhammad Waisi al-Bukhari Sudan awliya Shaykh Abdul Faiz Dagestani Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Haqqani Mawlana Shaykh Hisham Kabani Shaykh Adnan Kabani Shaykh Muhammad Adil Abdul Khaliq al-Fuj Dawani Sahib Zaman Sayyidina Muhammad al-Mahdi alayhi salam, Ruhullah Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, Saifullah Sayyidina alayhi salam, Thumma Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Uthman, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, Sayyidatuna Fatima alayhi salam, Sayyida wa Sadatina wa Siddiqeen. Al-Fatiha. Inshallah. Ameen. Ameen. Inshallah bin-niyat khatmi kharjikan. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده
ورسوله.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله.
Astaghfirullah 25 times. Astaghfirullah al-azim alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayy al-qayyum wa atubu ilayh. Innahu huwa at-tawwabur rahim. من كل ذنب ومعصية ومن كل ما يخالف دين الإسلام ومن كل ما يخالف الشريعة ومن كل ما يخالف الطريقة ومن كل ما يخالف المعارف ومن كل ما يخالف الحقيقة ومن كل ما يخالف العظيم يا أرحم الراحمين يا الله. اللهم يا مسبب الأسباب، يا مفتح الأبواب، يا مقلب القلوب والأبصار، يا دليل المتحيرين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حي يا قيوم يا ذو الجلال والإكرام، وأفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. رابط الشريف. فاتحة الشريف 3 times. Salawat al-Sharif 10 times. Surah Inshirah 3 times. Surah Ikhlas 3 times. Surah Fatiha 3 times. Salawatul Sharif 10 times. صلي يا ربي وسلم على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى كل أجمعين الحمد لله رب العالمين. إلى شرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه الكرام والأرواح مشايخنا في طريقة النقشبندية العالية، خاصنا روح إمام الطريقة وغوث الخليقة شاه الدين نقشبند محمد ويسي البخاري، وإلى مولانا سلطان الأولياء شاه عبد الله الفايز الداغستاني، مولانا سلطان الأولياء سيد محمد ناظم الحقاني، مولانا الشيخ الشام القباني، شيخ عدنان القباني، شيخ محمد عادل، وياقوت الخواص مولانا الشيخ نور جان من أحمدي، عبد الخالق الغجدواني، صاحب الزمان سيدنا إمام محمد المهدي عليه السلام، روح الله سيدنا عيسى عليه السلام، سيف الله سيدنا إمام علي عليه السلام، ثم سيدنا أبو بكر الصديق، سيدنا عمر، سيدنا عثمان، سيدنا إمام الحسن عليه السلام، سيدنا إمام الحسين عليه السلام، سيدتنا فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام، والسير وساداتنا والصديقين. الفاتحة. حسبي ربي جل الله
ما في قلبي غير الله، نور محمد صلى الله، حق لا إله إلا الله، إلا له إلا له إلا له، أنت الهادي أنت الهادي، ليس الهادي إلا هو. حسبي ربي جل الله، ما في قلبي غير الله، نور محمد صلى الله، حق لا إله إلا الله، إلا له إلا له إلا له، أنت الهادي أنت الهادي، ليس الهادي إلا هو. حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حق لا إله إلا الله إلا له إلا له إلا له أنت الهادي أنت الهادي ليس الهادي إلا هو لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا محمد نبي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد نبي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد خليل الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد خليل الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد ناجي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله
محمد يا الله
عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد شفي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد شفي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد شفي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد شفي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد حبيب الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد ناجي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد صفي الله عليه صلوات الله لا إله إلا الله محمد شفي الله عليه صلوات الله والسلام. ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. ألا يا الله 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 Allah 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 Allah
حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم هو حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الله الله حق 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 الله الله है 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 अल्लाह अल्लाह 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 है अल्लाह है या क़य्यूम 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 हस्बुल्लाह व निअमल वकील निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर ला हौला वला कुव्वता इल्ला बिल्लाहिल अलिय्यिल अज़ीम याहू याहू या दाइम याहू याहू या दाइम याहू याहू या दाइम
دائم الله يا هو يا دائم الله يا هو يا دائم يا دائم يا دائم يا دائم يا الله يا حليم يا حليم يا حليم يا الله يا حفيظ يا حفيظ يا حفيظ يا الله يا مجيب يا مجيب يا مجيب يا الله يا مغيث يا مغيث يا مغيث يا الله يا مغيث يا مغيث يا مغيث يا الله يا ستار يا ستار يا ستار يا الله يا غفار يا غفار يا غفار يا الله يا جبار يا جبار يا جبار يا الله يا قهار يا قهار يا قهار يا الله يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح يا الله يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح يا الله يا رزاق يا رزاق يا رزاق يا الله يا رزاق يا رزاق يا رزاق يا الله يا ودود يا ودود يا ودود يا الله يا ودود يا ودود يا ودود يا الله يا رحمن يا رحمن يا رحمن يا الله يا رحمن يا رحمن يا رحمن يا الله يا رحيم يا رحيم يا رحيم يا الله يا رحيم يا رحيم يا رحيم يا الله يا حنان يا حنان يا حنان يا الله يا حنان يا حنان يا حنان يا الله يا منان يا منان يا منان يا الله يا منان يا منان يا منان يا الله يا ديان يا ديان يا ديان يا الله يا ديان يا ديان يا ديان يا الله يا سبحان يا سبحان يا سبحان يا الله يا سبحان يا سبحان يا سبحان يا الله يا سلطان يا سلطان يا سلطان يا الله يا سلطان يا سلطان يا سلطان يا الله يا أمان يا أمان يا أمان يا الله يا أمان يا أمان يا أمان يا الله يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام يا الله يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام يا الله 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 أنت الله أنت الله أنت الله يا الله أنت الله أنت الله أنت الله يا الله هو الله هو الله هو الله يا الله هو الله هو الله هو الله يا الله حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم 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 يا أحد يا صمد صل على محمد 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 يا أحد يا صمد صل على يا أحمد 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 يا أحد يا صمد صل على محمد يا أحد يا صمد صل على محمد يا أحد يا صمد صل على محمد. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. يا سيد يا صاحب يا صديق يا رسول يا الله. يا سيد يا صاحب يا صديق يا رسول يا الله. يا سيد يا صاحب يا صديق يا رسول يا الله. يا سيد يا صاحب يا صديق يا رسول يا الله. يا سيد يا صاحب يا صديق يا رسول يا الله. يا سيد يا صاحب يا صديق يا رسول يا الله. يا سيد يا صاحب يا صديق يا رسول يا الله. حسبنا الله ربنا الله 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 حسبنا الله ربنا الله. سيدنا المهدي خليفة الله سيدنا المهدي خليفة الله سيدنا المهدي خليفة الله. أزهره الله أجابنا الله أزهره الله أجابنا الله أزهره الله أجابنا الله أيده الله أجابنا الله أيده الله أجابنا الله أيده الله أجابنا الله نسأله الله أجابنا الله نسأله الله أجابنا الله نسأله الله أجابنا الله. حسبنا الله ربنا الله حسبنا الله ربنا الله حسبنا الله ربنا الله. حسبنا ونعم الوكيل. يا غالبا غير مغلوب 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 يا شاهدا غير مغيب يا شاهدا غير مغيب يا شاهدا غير مغيب يا قاربا غير بعيد يا قاربا غير بعيد يا قاربا غير بعيد يا غالبا غير مغلوب يا غالبا غير مغلوب يا غالبا غير مغلوب.
حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إلى شرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى أصحابه الكرام وعلى مشايخنا في طريقة النقشبندية العلية، خاصة روح إمام طريقة غوث خليك شان نقشبند محمد ويس البخاري، سلطان أولياء الشيخ عبد الفيض الداغستاني، سلطان الشيخ محمد ناظم عادل الحقاني، مولانا الشيخ هشام كباني، الشيخ عدنان كباني، الشيخ محمد عادل، عبد الخالق الخشتواني، صاحب زمان سيدنا محمد المهدي عليه السلام، روح الله سيدنا عيسى عليه السلام، سيف الله سيدنا عليه السلام، ثم سيدنا أبو بكر الصديق، سيدنا عمر، سيدنا عثمان، إمام الحسن عليه السلام، إمام الحسين عليه السلام، وسيداتنا فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام، وسائر وساداتنا والصديقين. الفاتحة. Shafati al-Rasul Kareem. Alhamdulillah, reminding everybody, please make comments on all the videos, YouTube videos, shorts. It builds the algorithm. Please share as much as you can. This is a month in which many people are stopping and increasing their spiritual activities and the seeking of knowledge and the energies of Ramadan. So share as much as you can from the teachings, and that new people can come to this way of immense love and ishq of Sayyidina Muhammad. And Allah keep everybody safe, good, blessed Ramadan, blessed fasting until we meet again Thursday, Friday, Saturday night inshaAllah. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you guys. As-salamu alaykum. As-salamu alaykum. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans, Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.